Archangel Michael says, there comes a moment when your silence speaks louder than your voice ever could. The universe saw you hold your composure when chaos tried to break you. Those who underestimated you are now being forced to face the echo of their own actions. They tried to push you into reacting, to break your calm and make you small. But you stood still, unshaken, like a mountain against the storm. That stillness has now become their greatest mirror, reflecting everything they once denied. Your silence has become their teacher, your grace, their consequence. Every word they spoke against you has come back to remind them of what they lost. The same people who once mocked your calm are now learning from it in pain. You didn't need to raise your voice because heaven itself did it for you. When you chose peace over drama, you invited divine justice into motion. And now, Archangel Michael says, the tables are turning faster than they can comprehend. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Your quietness confused them. They expected anger, but you gave them stillness. That stillness was not weakness. It was power clothed in light. Behind closed doors, they now talk about how strong you were, how you never retaliated. Their guilt grows heavier each time your name comes up. The one they thought they could crush has now become the standard of strength. You became the lesson they never expected to learn. While they sought to embarrass you, the universe chose to honor you. Your silence exposed the noise in their souls, revealing who truly had control. Archangel Michael watched as you walked away without a word. That walk wasn't retreat. It was victory in disguise. Heaven took every tear you hid and turned it into the seed of your glow. Type Amen to get blessing. For 44, now they watch you rise without understanding how. They thought removing you would destroy you, but your peace became your protection. Each moment you stayed silent, you invited divine timing to unfold. Their whispers have turned into regret. They replay their actions, realizing how wrong they were. The silence they mocked has now become their punishment. You taught them that absence can be louder than presence. That dignity cannot be defeated by deceit. Your composure revealed everything they tried to hide. Even when they pretended not to care, your energy haunted them. They see you glowing, untouched, unbothered, and it burns them with realization. Archangel Michael says, your silence was not surrender. It was strategy. Type Amen to get blessing. 555, you moved differently. You chose not to prove anything, yet everything got proven. Your silence carried a truth too sacred for words. Every night they recall the way you looked at them the last time. Calm, steady, certain. That gaze told them more than any confrontation ever could. It said, I know what you did, and I still choose peace. Your strength wasn't in fighting back. It was in letting go. Letting go of the need to be understood, to be believed, to be right. And because of that, heaven began to lift you where they could no longer reach. Archangel Michael says, those who hurt you are now learning through divine reflection. The universe is replaying your story in their minds until they grasp the weight of what they did. That's what true karma looks like. Silent, patient, precise Type A men to get blessing 666. They underestimated how powerful your energy was when calm. They believed silence meant defeat, but it meant transformation. The storm inside you turned into light. Now every space you once occupied feels empty to them. They scroll. They search. They wait for a reaction that never comes. And that absence is louder than thunder. Their apology is unspoken, but it lingers in the air. You feel it sometimes like a soft tug in your spirit. That's their soul trying to reach the peace it once disturbed. Your silence humbled the loud. It became the sound of divine authority. Even angels stood in awe of your restraint. Type A men to get blessing. 777. Time is proving what you never needed to say. The same people who doubted you now quote your calmness to others. You became the story they tell when talking about self-respect. Your silence rewrote your identity in their minds. They see now that you never lost. You simply refused to play small. You taught them the cost of peace is walking away from noise. Archangel Michael says, Heaven kept a record of every moment you stayed silent when you could have spoken. And those moments have become your crown. Every wound you covered quietly is now becoming a doorway to abundance. The lessons they learned through losing you will follow them forever. Not as pain but as awakening, because your silence was their wake-up call from heaven itself. Type A men to get blessing. 888. They'll never forget how you made them feel when you said nothing. That memory is carved into their conscience. Every time they face someone calm, they'll think of you. You were sent to teach, not to argue, to reflect divinity through stillness. Your lesson was not in retaliation, but revelation. Now blessings are multiplying around you quietly. You're stepping into a season where your presence is peace and your name is light. The ones who doubted you are now your silent admirers. Your silence closed one chapter and opened another full of miracles. Archangel Michael whispers that those who tried to silence you accidentally amplified your destiny. You were never hidden. You were being prepared. Type A men to get blessing 999. The truth is your silence exposed what words could never fix. It separated real from fake, pure from false. The noise faded and your peace became your shield. They watch your glow with heavy hearts. Some want to apologize, but pride still cages them. They know deep down they lost something sacred. But don't look back. Your silence built bridges to better places. You're walking into environments where you no longer need to explain yourself. Where your calm is celebrated, not challenged. Archangel Michael says, the power of your silence is not over. It's still teaching, still reshaping lives. Still opening paths that no one expected. The story they tried to end has just begun. Type A men to get blessing. 1111. They'll think of you when they meet someone kind. They'll recognize your essence in every peaceful moment because you imprinted your energy into their memory. You didn't just give them a lesson, you gave them transformation. You showed what it means to choose dignity over destruction. And in doing so, you became unshakable. Your silence was a sermon of strength. It showed that real power doesn't shout. It simply exists. It doesn't fight for validation. It radiates truth. Now heaven is rewarding that silence with divine visibility. People are being drawn to your calm like light in the night. The lesson you gave them will echo for lifetimes. Type Amen to get blessing. 12:12, Archangel Michael says, your silence healed generations. It broke patterns of reaction that once trapped your lineage. You became the shift that others couldn't carry through. While they thought you were retreating, you were rebirthing. Every quiet moment was a spiritual reset. Every deep breath was divine alignment. Your energy is now magnetizing miracles. Doors are opening where walls once stood. The silence they feared is now the sound of your success. Keep walking softly but powerfully. You are not meant to shout to be heard. Heaven amplifies those who master stillness. Type Amen to get blessing. 13:13, they see your peace and call it mystery. They feel your distance and call it maturity. They know deep inside. They caused it. Yet even through pain you forgave in silence. You wished them well when they wished you gone. That grace was your greatest revenge. Archangel Michael says, grace will now clothe you like armor. No attack can touch what peace protects. The silence that once felt empty will now echo with abundance. You didn't lose your voice. You found your power. And now the world will hear your message through your calm. That's divine justice unfolding quietly. Type Amen to get blessing. 14:14. Their life will never look the same after meeting you. Your silence turned into a mirror of reflection. What they saw frightened them because it was truth. But the universe isn't cruel. It's just corrective. They needed your silence to understand humility, to learn that love without respect collapses. Now they carry your memory as a compass. Whenever they face chaos, they'll think, how would you respond? And that thought alone will anchor them. Archangel Michael says, your silence was never weakness. It was divine restraint, the power to let heaven fight on your behalf, the calm that crowns the chosen. Type Amen to get blessing. 15:15, you didn't owe them closure. Your silence was closure. You didn't owe them explanation. Your energy spoke enough. You didn't owe them reaction. Your peace said everything. Those who once ignored your worth are now haunted by your absence. They finally see what they took for granted. Your silence made them realize your value. Your calmness isn't just strength, it's prophecy fulfilled. Every time you stay composed, you rewrite destiny in your favor. You're untouchable because your silence is sacred. Archangel Michael says, the lesson they learned through losing you will echo across their paths. You were sent to awaken them and you succeeded. Their growth is your victory. Type Amen to get blessing. 16:16, and now as you rise in grace, heaven celebrates you. The world is shifting to align with your energy. The silence that once isolated you is now your spotlight. People will come forward with apologies, clarity, and realizations. But you no longer need their validation. You've outgrown the version of yourself that sought to be understood. Your lesson was complete the moment you chose peace. Your destiny began the moment you stopped explaining. And your silence became the anthem of your evolution. Archangel Michael says, "Heaven has recorded your calm as courage." From this day, you'll attract peace, power, and prosperity effortlessly because your silence wasn't the end. It was the awakening. Type Amen to get blessing. 1717. They didn't expect you to rebuild yourself from silence. They thought the quiet would crush you, not crown you. But what they didn't know is that heaven does its best work in silence. You became untouchable, not by force, but by flow. Every moment you didn't explain yourself became another layer of divine mystery. And now your silence carries a glow they can't look away from. Your peace has become a sermon without words. It has reached people who once rejected your truth. Now they crave the same calm that they once mocked. Archangel Michael says the silence of the chosen is never empty. It's divine preparation in motion. Every pause, every moment of withdrawal was heaven rearranging your path toward victory. Type Amen to get blessing. 1818. They used to call you cold. Now they call you wise. They said you changed, but they never realized you healed. Silence was your medicine and your miracle. What they see now is the version of you that silence built. The one that doesn't chase, doesn't explain, doesn't beg to be seen. You became the calm they can't disturb anymore. They will never forget the moment you stopped replying. That was the moment everything began to shift because silence is the first sound of awakening. The universe watched your restraint and whispered, "Now it's time." Heaven opened new doors while they were still waiting for your reaction. You were never behind. You were being refined. Type Amen to get blessing 1919. They talk about your peace now. Some admire it, others envy it, but all feel it. Your silence became the evidence of divine favor. When you didn't speak, heaven did. When you didn't defend yourself, truth began to travel without words. Now, even those who lied about you are correcting their own stories in private. You've become the one people reference when talking about resilience. They didn't even react, they say. And that one sentence carries weight. You've become the quiet proof of strength that doesn't need validation. Archangel Michael says, "The power that once flowed through prophets now flows through you in stillness." You have become the calm storm of heaven. The one who shifts the atmosphere simply by being type Amen to get blessing 2020. They tried to write you off, but silence rewrote your name in gold. You were never forgotten. You were being preserved. The energy they used to mock you has become the fuel for your rise. You're no longer moved by noise because you've seen what peace can build. That stillness inside you is now your compass. It guides you straight toward purpose away from distraction. Every moment of silence became a seed. And now the harvest is coming quietly, gracefully, undeniably. Heaven rewards those who don't seek revenge but redemption. Archangel Michael says those who learn to be still will always outlast those who fight for attention. Because silence is not emptiness, it's mastery. Type Amen to get blessing. 2121. The same ones who took your silence as surrender will soon see it was strategy. You didn't step back out of fear. You stepped back to level up. You've been operating on divine timing all along. Now they can't access you because your energy no longer vibrates where drama lives. You've outgrown noise. You've become the atmosphere of peace itself. Your silence made space for your glow up. It drew boundaries without confrontation. It said, I am no longer for chaos. And the universe listened. You're entering the era where your presence does the talking. Archangel Michael says, the power you hold now will silence rooms without words. It's divine authority through peace. Type Amen to get blessing. 2222. They'll think about the moments they could have cherished you. They'll replay those conversations where they misunderstood your quiet. And slowly they'll see they were never dealing with silence. They were dealing with strength. Every person who crossed your boundaries will learn what distance feels like. Because your absence is now your lesson to them. And that lesson doesn't expire. You no longer need to explain the storm you survived. Your calm is proof you've already won. Your silence became your loudest. I'm free. Archangel Michael says, heaven will always defend those who remain still in truth. So stand tall, stay grounded, and let peace keep doing what noise never could. Build your legacy. Type Amen to get blessing. 2323. They thought silence meant you had nothing left to say, but really it meant you had learned everything you needed to know. You stopped arguing because you realized peace is priceless. Your silence became the wall that protected your spirit. Every word you didn't speak saved you from battles not worth fighting. Now your silence is your crown, not your cage. The same people who once took advantage of your quiet now miss it because your energy was calm, your presence healing, and they can't replace that. Archangel Michael says, what you lost through silence will return multiplied through grace. The ones who misunderstood your peace will now see it was divine power in disguise. Type Amen to get blessing. 2400 hours 24. The silence that once hurt you is now your greatest blessing. It separated you from noise so you could hear heaven clearly. It wasn't loneliness. It was alignment. Now blessings are finding you in still moments. Wealth, opportunities, love, and peace are attracted to your vibration. You've mastered the art of doing nothing and letting everything come to you. They're realizing too late that your silence was sacred. That you were never ignoring them. You were protecting your peace. You chose healing over havoc and heaven took note. Archangel Michael says, the loudest souls are often the least aligned. You, my child, have found strength in the whisper of stillness. And that's why divine favor surrounds you endlessly. Type Amen to get blessing. 2525. When they remember you, they'll remember calm. They'll remember how your silence held more weight than their words. They'll remember the peace you carried like a halo. They will try to reach out, but energy doesn't rewind. It only transforms. What once hurt you now empowers you. What once drained you now fuels your peace. Your silence didn't end the connection. It elevated it to spirit level. They may never understand that you were teaching them how to treat peace. And that's a lesson they'll carry forever. Archangel Michael says, "Your silence made heaven proud." The angels stand beside you now, guiding your steps toward the throne of destiny that your calm built. Type Amen to get blessing. 26:26. Your silence was never punishment. It was prophecy. It foretold who would stay, who would fold, and who would grow. It revealed everything that words would have hidden. Now you walk with quiet confidence, and that confuses people because they can feel your strength without hearing your voice. You became light, and light doesn't explain. It simply shines. Those who once misunderstood you now seek your advice. They want to know how you stayed calm when everything was burning. But you'll just smile because some lessons can't be taught. They can only be lived. Archangel Michael says, "Your silence shook dimensions." You changed more through stillness than others do through speeches, and heaven honors you for that grace. Type Amen to get blessing. 27:27. Your silence carried messages that only awakened souls could decode. It spoke in energy, not words. And those who weren't meant for you simply couldn't understand it. But those who were aligned felt it instantly. They felt your vibration shift. They felt your boundaries solidify. They knew something powerful was happening within you. Your silence turned into spiritual authority. You no longer needed to prove yourself. You became your own confirmation. Now heaven says, "Rest in your peace." You've taught the world a powerful lesson. Sometimes the most divine statement is made through saying nothing at all. Type Amen to get blessing. 28:28. They didn't expect your silence to become their reflection. Every quiet moment you gave them has turned into a mirror they can't escape. They hear your absence in the same rhythm their heart once raced around you. Now when they speak about you, their voice trembles with regret. They feel your energy even in your distance. Your silence became the haunting melody that keeps reminding them who they lost. The truth is, they once thought they had control over your emotions. But your stillness proved they never did, because silence is the weapon only the wise know how to wield. Archangel Michael says, "Your stillness struck deeper than any word could." The heavens watched you walk away without vengeance. And that's when your victory was sealed. Type Amen to get blessing. 29:29. They are now realizing what they destroyed through carelessness. Their mind replays every conversation, every opportunity they had to make things right. But silence is now the language of closure. Each time they see your name, it brings a sting of memory. They long for the version of you that used to respond, but that version no longer exists. You evolved in silence. You became untouchable through peace. What was once heartbreak has turned into holy ground. The silence you kept was sacred and it summoned miracles in your life. Heaven made sure nothing you lost would go unreplaced. Archangel Michael says, your new life is blooming quietly, far away from noise. You don't need applause when angels are clapping in unseen realms for your resilience. Type Amen to get blessing. 3030. Now the tables have silently turned. They are the ones watching you while you move gracefully without mention. You've become the peace they can't disturb and the calm they can't replicate. Every achievement you gain in silence pierces their heart louder than any confrontation ever could. You don't post revenge, you live redemption. And that's what sets your energy apart. The lessons your silence taught are shaping destinies. The ones who betrayed your grace are now learning humility. They're beginning to understand that silence isn't weakness. It's divine justice disguised. Archangel Michael says, your reward is not coming. It's already unfolding. You're living in the vibration of answered prayers that you whispered when no one was listening. Type Amen to get blessing. 3131. Those who once dismissed you now study your calm. They notice that peace follows wherever you go. They don't know it, but your silence purified your energy. You no longer carry bitterness, and that's what confuses them. They expected you to be broken, but your light only grew brighter. The glow they now see is born from all the words you refused to waste. You are walking proof that grace always outlasts gossip. You didn't need to fight lies. Truth fought for you. You simply let heaven handle what humans tried to destroy. Archangel Michael says, silence is the weapon of angels on earth. When used with purity, it dismantles every plan made in shadows. That's exactly what you've done. Type Amen to get blessing. 3232. The energy has reversed. What they once used to hurt you now returns as their awakening. They are learning that hurting a pure soul creates a lifetime echo. And that echo speaks your name. You didn't curse them, you released them. You didn't chase closure, you became it. And now everything they touch reminds them of the peace they lost with you. They can't undo the memory of your silence. It follows them like a gentle storm. Because true power never shouts. It simply shifts the universe. Archangel Michael says, your silence turned into a wave of blessings that can't be stopped. The heavens heard what you didn't say and answered what you couldn't express. Type Amen to get blessing. 3333. Every person who once took advantage of your kindness is now receiving their mirror moment. The universe is replaying your energy through their experiences, and through that they are learning compassion. Your silence became their transformation manual. What they once called they now call wise. What they once called distant they now call healing. You, the one they dismissed, have become the example they follow. Your peace is contagious, your silence powerful, your aura unforgettable. Archangel Michael says, you've entered the realm of divine authority. When you walk into a space, energy bows. Your silence commands respect without a sound. Type Amen to get blessing. 3434. There's something sacred about how you disappeared. You didn't vanish, you ascended. You learn that peace is not absence of sound, but presence of strength. Every tear that fell in silence became a diamond in your destiny. Heaven saw every moment you chose not to respond, and each became a note in your symphony of victory. You have graduated from reaction to realization, from defending yourself to defining yourself. And now those who once judged you can't help but feel drawn to your transformation. Archangel Michael says, silence is the final word of the healed soul. You've said everything you needed to without uttering a single syllable. Type Amen to get blessing. 3535 The universe is rearranging everything in your favor. People who misread your silence are now being guided to understand it. They're seeing how your calm came from divine connection, not indifference. You carry the peace of someone who knows their worth. You no longer explain your energy because real ones feel it. And that vibration of truth has become your armor. Now doors that were once closed are opening without you knocking because silence carries the sound of alignment, and alignment always attracts miracles. Archangel Michael says you've mastered emotional alchemy, turning pain into peace and silence into power. That's why the heavens honor your journey. Tape Amen to get blessing. 3636 They say time heals all wounds, but in your case, silence did. Your calm became medicine for your spirit. It turned heartbreak into wisdom, confusion into clarity, endings into beginnings. The ones who hurt you had no idea they were building your legend. They were teaching you discernment wrapped in disappointment. Now your energy no longer entertains the unhealed. You walk like peace in motion, untouched, unbothered, unstoppable. The storms that once scared you now move around you respectfully. You are no longer surviving. You're reigning. Archangel Michael says, heaven is preparing public blessings for your private restraint. Everything you stayed silent about will now speak through your success. Type Amen to get blessing. 3737